Starting again is not starting over. And I think somebody needs to hear that because when your life shifts, when you pivot, when something changes, when you have to rebuild, it can feel like you're back at zero, back at square one. It can feel like everything you did before was wasted. It can feel like all the effort, all the lessons, all the prayers, all the risk, all the work somehow disappeared because the path doesn't look like what you thought it would look like. And I'm learning that starting again is not the same thing as starting over. Starting over implies that you have nothing. Starting again means you are beginning again from wisdom. You are beginning again from experience. You are beginning again from a deeper place. You are beginning again with discernment you did not have before, lessons you had to live through. You are beginning again with a clear understanding of what matters, what doesn't, what you value, what you need, and who you are becoming. And there are things that I know now that I didn't know before. Patterns I can recognize faster, red flags I no longer have to ignore, rooms I no longer have to force myself to fit into, and decisions that I can make now with more clarity because I have lived through what happens when I betray my peace. So, no, I'm not back at the beginning. And maybe you're not either. Maybe this season feels like a reset because God is not allowing you to build the next chapter on the old foundation. Maybe He isn't punishing you. Maybe He is protecting you. Maybe He is not taking you backward. Maybe He is bringing you back to the place where you can finally build correctly. And I think sometimes we confuse movement with progress. And we think because we're busy, we're achieving, we're being seen, things are moving, that means that we're actually growing. But sometimes God will slow things down to ask, is this actually aligned? Is this actually rooted in me? Is this actually who I called you to be? Or is this the version of you that learned how to survive? And that is where I think starting again becomes sacred. Because you're not starting again as the same person. You are starting again with more depth, more truth, more humility, more surrender, more awareness, and most importantly, more God. And I think there is a version of me that in the past would have been embarrassed to start again. She would have wanted everything to look seamless. She would have wanted a clean story. She would have wanted the resume to make sense, the timeline to make sense, the decisions to make sense to everybody else. But I'm not building for everybody else anymore. I'm learning that the most important thing is not whether my life looks linear. The most important thing is whether it is surrendered. So if you are in a starting again season, I want you to know this. You are not behind. You are not a failure. You are not too late. You are not back at square one or zero. You are actually carrying wisdom that cannot be measured by the outside appearance of your life. You may be starting again, but you are starting again with God. You are starting again with clarity. You are starting again with everything that the last season or seasons of your life have taught you. And that isn't anything. That isn't nothing. That is foundation. So do not despise the restart. Don't shame yourself for needing to rebuild. Don't let the enemy convince you that a pivot means failure. Sometimes starting again is the most faithful thing you can do.